Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Kai here with Dr. Sluice. So, coming out for a little prospect today before it gets too cold. It's definitely getting a lot chillier than it was last time I was out. Got some lovely autumn colours going on. But yeah, I'm not going to do a full day today, I don't think. Just wanted to come out for a few hours because I got a day off. But I'm back in work tomorrow and I don't want to be too sore, so I'm not sure I'm going to put in a full day. Depends how good the gold is. But decided to try a couple of new areas today where I found some bigger pieces in the past, and hopefully I can find another picker or two, and still hoping for that elusive nugget someday. But this is definitely a place where that might be possible, so wish me luck. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button if you will. Thank you. Water's nice and low today. So on one of my last trips, I had that big step in the bedrock here that I cleaned out, and I found a picker, but I didn't find much other gold. So part of me thinks that the gold might have just been washed out of that crevice and is possibly settling a little bit further down where the water's not as rough. So I think I'm going to spend an hour literally a metre from where I was digging last time. This is where I dug last time. I think I'm going to have a little dig around here, see what's happening with the bedrock. If there's another crevice here, then that might be worth cleaning out. But after a few buckets, if I'm not getting any gold, I'm going to move locations. And the water is really low today, so yeah, hopefully I can see a bit better what's going on under there. Alright, wish me luck. Well, that's the first bucket of overburden done, and there's already 2 specks of gold on the top mat. I'm not sure if you can see those in the corner there, but that's more than I got in my first 3 buckets the last time I was digging here, and I was only a couple of feet away from here. So maybe my theory that the gold wasn't dropping out in that crevice and that it was actually getting washed out and settling a bit further down might be true. So I'm hoping if I keep going by here, once I get to bedrock, there might be another picker waiting for me down there. Right, give you a little update. Very warm. So I'm down to bedrock, but the bedrock is sloping. So I'm going to follow it towards the bank here, because this is all quite compacted gravel. Bedrock slopes down this way. So hopefully underneath this there'll be a catch point somewhere. I have got a few more visible pieces of gold on the top mat. I've only run 3 buckets so far, but it's already looking better than when I was digging a little higher than that. So let's do a clean out, see what we got. first 3 buckets, and that's looking pretty healthy. Let me put this down for a sec. A lot of lead shot, and then I'm not going to call that a picker, even though I can pick it up, but it has got some thickness to it. So I'm definitely in a better spot. I'll carry on, I think. Well, did another cleanup after 3 more buckets, and there's only 2 specks in there, so it's supposed to get better, not worse, the further you go down. But I think I might use the pump to do a few, maybe half a bucket right from the bottom of that bedrock, and if there's nothing in that, I'm probably going to move spots. Okay, time for an update. I've kind of given up on that spot over there. The last few buckets didn't produce much, and I've always wanted to try this inside bend here that I'm standing on. There's a lot of exposed bedrock, but the bedrock's very smooth, but there is a little bit of a gravel bar here, so I'm thinking I've just put 2 buckets through the sluice. I've got 1 speck on the top mat. I'm thinking it's worth doing a few more buckets from this gravel bar here to see if anything is gathered in there. Just started digging down here. Well, it's lunchtime, so I'm just having a look at what I've done for the day. I'll show you. So not terrible, not loads of gold, but the pieces I've got are quite chunky. That one, and then those red stained ones over there, which are a bit thick. But most of those came from my first few buckets this morning, and I haven't had much for the last few hours, so I don't know what to do. Move on or do a couple more buckets and call it a day. I think I'll do 2 more buckets and then head off. Finally, a half decent cleanup. It's a bit of a And it's typical that that's probably my last bucket of the day, but I've got to do one more, haven't I? That's a nice piece there. Alright, let's do one more. Well, I'm out of here. What turned out to be, or was planning to be, a short day turned into a long day in the end. But I did alright in the morning. I had a few hours in the middle of the day where I wasn't finding hardly anything. And then I had another good hour right at the end. So all in all, not bad. And absolutely beautiful day. I love this time of year. Before it gets cold, but after summer, you know, those autumn days, it's lush out here. Anyway, hope you enjoyed, and go and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Alright, see you on the next one.